All right, I see. Well, let's get a divorce then. I then put the divorce papers on the table.
What? What's this?
It's the divorce papers, of course. Oh, have you prepared them already? If you did, do you want to use yours then?
No, that's not what I meant. Why are the divorce papers coming from you? Stop being so arrogant, Ivy.
Arrogant? You have been looking down on me this whole time. So that's why you think that I'm arrogant, right? But you're the one being the most arrogant person here.
If you say it like that, then you think that you're better than me, huh?
Well, I am. My name is Ivy. I have been married to my husband, Howard, for 10 years now. I knew my husband from my university years, as he was one of my classmates. But even when we were in the same classes during university, it's not like we began to go out because of that. Howard and I were just in the same classes and were in the same club at that time. After graduating university and second year into working at the company where I work now, Howard and I met again at a drinking party for our university alumni reunion. And from there, we hit it off and ended up getting married. My husband is a very bright and cheerful person. On my second year of working at the company, I was just stuck at work, and when I got to talk to Howard about it, I felt really relaxed, which is why we probably hit it off and I ended up marrying him. But now to think about it, it seems that I made the wrong choice. The first 8 years of our married life was very peaceful and satisfying. It was when my husband changed jobs that our marriage began to fall apart. Howard was so full of hopes and dreams for the future that he happily changed jobs, saying, "I was headhunted." But instead, his salary was lower and got reduced to half of what it had been before, and for this, he lost his motivation. After that, my husband became depressed and very narrow-minded about some things, and also got very self-deprecating. Still, it was a fact that my husband's brightness and cheerfulness had saved my life previously, and I was determined that it was now my turn to support him. However, this didn't work really well, and as a result, Howard couldn't get the point about my feelings of wanting to help him at all. My husband was always tired and exhausted when he came home late at night. "Welcome home! I cooked your favorite pasta for dinner today."
It's okay. I don't need it.
Huh? So, you already ate?
No way. I'm not getting any high income here.
Then, aren't you hungry a little bit? You need to eat something to cheer up.
That's really annoying, you know? You think that I'm useless, don't you?
What? I've never thought of you that way.
Well, I'm not really sure about that.
Saying that, my husband would not try to even look at me and would go back into his room. Even so, I won't give up easily, and I'll cook his favorite meals. But he would only take a few bites of it and then quickly goes back into his room. On weekends and on day offs, I would suggest that maybe we could go out for dinner, but he would just say,
"We don't have that kind of money,"
and wouldn't go anywhere. I really didn't know what to do anymore. And it was at that time my husband would make an impossible proposal to me. Well, that was probably the main reason as to why our relationship got worse. On that day, my husband came home early, which was very rare. And the expression he had on his face was very calm. Did something good happen? It makes me happy to see him like that too.
Ivy, I got a suggestion.
Okay, what is it?
Can you quit your work?
Excuse me? Quit work? There was no way I could do that now. My husband's monthly net income is less than $1,800. Our monthly rent is $600, and the utilities fees are about $200 per month. My husband's cigarette costs more than about $200 a month. Even if I calculate roughly like that, $1,000 are already gone. Even if we do our best to control the expenses for the food, $400 would probably be our limit. If we pay for both of our phone bills, $100 will be gone. And what can we do with the remaining $300? $300 is better than nothing, but for the two of us, it would not be enough at all.
You know, it's really difficult for me, knowing that you're earning more income than me. What, your current net income is about $2,000 per month, right?
What the hell is he talking about? I've been working at the company for over 10 years now. I really wonder what is going on in Howard's head sometimes. My net income per month is $3,500. But I guess that I should never say that to Howard.
I can't take it anymore. So if you quit work, then I'll feel much better, you know?
I was so angry at what he was saying. It seems like Howard was really looking down on me from the very beginning. He was probably thinking that he was providing for his wife, who made way less money than he actually did. No, I won't quit my work.
Huh? Why not?
It's because I love my job and my company.
So, you don't love me then?
That's not what I'm even saying. I am very proud of my job, so I have never thought about quitting my job at all. Then, my husband laughed as he let out a huge sigh.
You're proud of a job that only pays you $2,000? That's really funny.
Well, if that's funny, you, on the other hand, has a job which would only pay less than $1,800. If I could say that to him, then it would have definitely made me feel better. But if I said that, then I would be in the same level as him. I tried my best to remain calm and proceeded with the conversation. After that, my husband continued to pressure me to quit my job, but I never agreed to his idea. Then, my husband made some idiotic excuses and stopped providing any money into the family budget. What was the whole purpose of me being with this man? I really couldn't understand anymore. Then, just as I was beginning to think about getting a divorce, my husband began to talk about my father. My parents divorced after I graduated university and began working at the company. The reason for their divorce was because they just didn't get along well. There was no issues like cheating on each other or being violent. So what my parents had was an amicable divorce. When I was told of their decision to divorce each other, I was really surprised. Because to me, they seemed to be very close to each other as a couple. But still, I accepted my parents' divorce, thanking them for waiting until I had graduated and began working at a company. Now that they had finished raising the kids, I decided that if they were going to lead their new separate lives, I would support them in any ways. So, when my husband and I married, I lived with my mother, so I never really discussed about my father in details. My father, of course, attended our wedding, but we only saw each other only a few times a year.
Come to think of it, your father is about to retire, right?
Huh? Why?
Oh, it's nothing, but he's been delivering newspapers all his life, right? It was a lot of work for him, wasn't it?
It seems like Howard is misunderstanding something here. This conversation took place when we had just began going out.
Oh, by the way, what does your father do for a living, Ivy?
Oh, my father's a newspaper...
Is he the guy that delivers newspapers?
What?
That must be a tough job. I guess you're really grateful of your father, huh? I'm guessing his income is not that high, right? But even so, he did all his best to raise you up, Ivy.
Well, he's not 100% wrong, but if Howard thought it that way, then I thought it was okay for him to think that way about my father. Since then, my father wasn't mentioned that much, so I didn't really try to correct Howard about my father's job. But why did my husband bring up my father right now at this time? I couldn't understand what Howard was thinking. And then, when I had forgotten that we had talked about my father, I began to receive these mysterious phone calls on my phone. When I picked them up, it was always silent. At first, it was creepy, and I was slightly terrified as to why there were these silent calls, but the phone number which kept on calling me was displayed on my phone. So, does this mean that the person who is calling me wants me to know who that person is? As I began to think that way, I gradually became less and less concerned about these silent calls. And one day, When I got the call, I switched the phone on speaker and left it alone. Well, it's not like I was the one calling, so I wouldn't be charged for these calls. And that's when I heard someone cough over the phone. That person definitely sounded like a woman. I see, so it was a woman who's been calling me. Then I heard, "I'm home," over the phone, and then the call was disconnected right after that. That voice is my husband's voice, right? I see, so there's a woman whom my husband is really close to that he can even say, "I'm home," and visit her at her home like it was his. He doesn't even try to provide for the family, and all he does is tries to pressure me to quit my job. I really don't need a husband like him anymore. I immediately requested the investigating agency and asked them to investigate about my husband. It was difficult to find a good agency, and it took some time to sign a contract with them, but 2 months after finding out about Howard saying I'm home to another woman, I was able to get enough evidence of his affair. And I was waiting for the right time to divorce Howard. Unfortunately, my husband brought up the subject about divorce before me. It was a very upsetting story for my part, but my husband has suggested for a divorce.
Hey, how much did your father get when he retired? He already retired, right?
Huh?
So, I'm asking you, how much did your father get when he retired?
I don't think he'll get any retirement money.
What? Then what was the point of me being with you all this time?
I don't really understand what you're saying.
I mean, I knew that he wouldn't get much retirement money since he only worked as a newspaper delivery man, but still, it's better than not getting it.
Well, yes, indeed. It's better to get it than not to get it.
And yet, your father won't even get the retirement money.
Yeah, he won't.
What the hell? I have been putting up with this for 10 years. I just wasted all my time, huh? If we can't rely on your father with money, then I don't want you anymore. I'm divorcing you.
Did you marry me for money?
No, not everything is like that. I already knew that a newspaper delivery man like your father won't get much benefits. It's that attitude of yours since you had the last 2 years or so. That's why I feel like I'm not really attracted to you anymore. You've been looking down on me ever since I transferred to my crappy job, haven't you? And that's why I was being depressed too. So, I'm getting alimony from you as well as getting a divorce from you.
All right, I see. Well, let's get a divorce then. I then put the divorce papers on the table.
What? What's this?
It's the divorce papers, of course. Oh, have you prepared them already? If you did, do you want to use yours then?
No, that's not what I meant. Why are the divorce papers coming from you? Stop being so arrogant, Ivy.
Arrogant? You have been looking down on me this whole time, which is why you think that I'm arrogant, right? But you're the one being the most arrogant person here.
If you say it like that, then you think that you're better than me, huh?
Well, I am. I don't look down on people like you do. And I would never ever cheat with another person behind my partner's back.
Huh?
I'm going to charge alimony to you and to your mistress, so please do keep that in mind.
What the hell? You knew about that?
Yeah, because I kept getting silent phone calls from your mistress. Don't you dare think that you can get away with this. I will track you down to the ends of the earth and make you pay for everything you've done. Saying that, I kicked my husband out of the house and locked the door. A month later, the divorce was finalized. I was able to get my ex-husband and his mistress to pay me alimonies. My ex-husband seemed to have saved up quite a bit of money, and he transferred me all the amount at once. I thought this would finally settle things down, but my ex-husband, without any lessons learned, tried to start a second round. Well, it's pretty obvious that I won again this time. That happened 2 months after the divorce was finalized. When I came home, my ex-husband was standing in front of the door. I took my ex-husband, who insisted for a chat, to a nearby cafe, and he suddenly burst into tears.
Why didn't you tell me about it?
About what?
about your father.
Huh? My ex-husband showed me an article from a magazine. In it was an interview of my father, with a photo of his face on the article.
Your father is the editor-in-chief, right?
Oh, about that. Yeah, that's right.
That means you lied to me intentionally, right? If I sue you for it, I'll be compensated, right?
Then why don't you hire a lawyer and file a claim for it? But, well, if you have the money, that is. Besides, I wasn't lying to you intentionally, you know. Sometimes my father does carry newspapers and magazines to his clients, so it doesn't change the fact that he delivers newspapers. I mean, you just jumped to conclusions on that one on your own. Oh, and you're also claiming compensation for emotional distress, right? Go ahead and do it. We can even take this to court if you want. I will never run away, so bring it on. Let's fight this to the end.
Even if you say that, you're still going to lose. You also lied to me about his retirement benefits.
No, you see, my father hasn't retired yet. So, how can you say that I lied about his retirement benefits? Besides, what does my father's retirement benefits have to do with us? Even if my father gets his retirement money in the future, it's his money, and it has nothing to do with me, you know?
But still, you might get some from him too, right?
Yeah, so what?
Then I could have gotten it too.
All you care about is only money, no matter what, huh? Because you were blinded by the money, you believed in stupid words like headhunt, and your salary decreased, isn't that right? Snap out of it, will you? I have nothing more to say to you. Don't ever show your face in front of me ever again. If you ever appear in front of me again, I will sue you, and I mean it. I slammed the $10 on the table and left the cafe. I loved him once, but that man is no longer the man I fell in love with. No, he probably was like that to begin with, but I guess I just couldn't see it. I couldn't make any good judgments about him that well. First of all, I need to learn how to judge a person's character and who they really are. My ex-husband never visited me after that, but a year later, I saw him unexpectedly. That day, I was enjoying shopping with my friends. And, as we were about to enter a restaurant, I saw my ex-husband. He was wearing a uniform and serving customers. Apparently, he was working as a waiter in that restaurant. I was surprised to see him work in a very different industry from his previous ones, but I was glad he was hired. I guess he's doing his own best to make a living on his own. My friend and I looked at each other, chuckled, and quietly left. Since my divorce, I have been expanding my social life to better myself. I have become reluctant to get married because of what had happened with my ex-husband, and probably I will not remarry in the future. I live for my work, and this is one of the options that some people would choose. With what had happened in the past, I want to learn from it and live my life to the fullest. A husband who relies on his father-in-law's retirement money, he must be really weird. I hope that there's a lot of happiness waiting for Ivy in her future life. Thank you for watching until the end. Please subscribe to our channel. We hope to see you in our next video.